Hey, Julian Franklin here. Today I want to tell you about a show called Sport of Champions. And I love this show. I love doing this show. It's really rich with puppets. Lots and lots of puppets. There are four different puppets. Yep, four different puppets that I do in the course of the show. This show has more puppets than any other. There is no other show that I do that has more puppets at this time than Sport of Champions. It's a really neat story. It's based very loosely around the one of Aesop's fables, the story of the tortoise and the hare, and they have a race. And so that's the gist of it. But really, the story is about exercising your body, which is important, but also exercising your brain. And so we talk about different ways to exercise our body, also different ways to exercise our brain. Easiest way, of course, to exercise your brain is by reading. Reading is exercise for your brain. So this is sort of how we, the overriding theme, if you will. But what's nice about this program is it's super good for a reward because there's so many puppets that the kids really think of it as a hilarious puppet show. Now, if you don't use puppets in your library, you really have to do it. And if you see this show, you will start using puppets. They're such an amazing teaching tool. But what happens is the kids are so engrossed. When a puppet starts to talk, they listen. And so I can say something, you can say something, it doesn't matter. But when a puppet says something, they listen. So I love the power that puppets bring to a program. And this show talks about some very important things that, look, we all have to keep our bodies healthy. This is a great nutrition show. If you've got a theme about sports, if you've got a theme about keeping your body healthy, this is wonderful, by the way. During a Red Ribbon Week, people love to come in Red Ribbon and talk about all the things that you shouldn't do. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I do not agree with that. If you do any real research on human behavior, you do not talk about the behavior you don't want. You talk about the behavior that you do want. So, present to your counselor, present to your principal, present to your PTA the idea that for a true Red Ribbon program, a program that's really going to make a difference in October, let's bring in a program that talks about what we should be doing, offer positive examples. And this show does that. It delivers some great ideas about keeping our bodies healthy and also keeping our brain healthy. And there's a few things that we can do that keep our brain and our body healthy, and that's eating the right sorts of food. When we put the right nutrients in our body, it provides our body and our brain with everything that it needs to grow strong. And so these three ideas are what every child should leave with. And of course, like all of my programs, I want the kids to leave with this idea of continuing the process through self-directed learning. And so whatever it is that you love, whether you love ballet, whether you love karate, whether you love cheerleading, whether you love dancing, all of these wonderful things that we've been talking about, all these different sports and games that we've been talking about as ways to exercise your body, when you read a book about them in the library, you're also exercising your brain. So you're getting 2 for 1. So anyway, that's sort of the gist of it. But it's called Sport of Champions. It's a great reward show. It's great for Red Ribbon time. It's great at the end of the year, like I said, as a reward, but it's also a great way to kick off the school year, getting everybody excited about eating healthy, doing the right things for their body, doing the right things for their brain. Sport of Champions, learning the sport of champions.